you in? The spirit of ultra-liberalism, your charm, your spin, your winning hand. Attaboy, welcome to the final grind. Here we operate with money on a much higher level than the ordinary citizen. Let's start by getting you into the lucrative art market to diversify your assets and increase your ROI. Speaking of which, know any artists? You're right. She has the poise of a struggling artist. Very tangible. Go and support her like the state never could. Everyone must know that you're a big fucking shit. A mirror hangs on the bathroom.
В общем, у меня там накрылась трансляция, почему-то отвалился интернет. Вот, вместе и Wi-Fi отвалился, и вообще интернет, трансляция что-то заглючила, я хрен его знает с чем связано. Есть просто догадка, что просто в комнате очень жарко, и роутер перегревается, наверное. Вот. Так что я просто перезапустил игру, тем более тут не так, чтобы прям много прошел, поэтому давайте заново. Идущие 12 минут я просто удалю, которые были. Вот.
Can I help you? Got the 20. Good. You got...
How you know them?
Another thing. Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time. Who told you that? Fine, yeah. If you do find it... Yes?
Давайте прямо здесь пулю изучим.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date. The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
What? Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say, find the weapon that shot me. If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter. You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard. It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are...
What can you say about the bullet so far? A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Давайте попробуем, а что делать еще?
A
Да,
rifle,
есть, сработал, ни хрена
revolutionary
себе.
period. Your bullet looks to be an old
Ни хрена.
4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique. The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theatre of the... No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling. Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers.
What are you thinking? Bullet? Okay. And? An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez or anywhere in Ravachol, really. Sure, there's some arms trafficking, but the laws prohibiting the use of breech loaders we inherited from the monarchy have been effective, from what I've seen. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation. Let's find out. Next step, finding the gun itself. Okay, and? An antique. Sure, there's some arms, some new...
Prohibiting peacetime...
Imagine if ever... But back to the investigation. Doesn't seem that likely, but we'll check out all possible leads. Next step, finding the gun itself.
Ну, очко навыков у нас есть. Эквилибристика. Скорость реакции. Драма, риторика, энциклопедия, логика. Давайте эквилибристику.
A mirror hangs. This is not... that soap's the bathtub. The water is only... Now you are alone with... You see the... Then, how's it? Your fingers grope. The waterline recedes as you stand. You are...
Помылся, хорошо. Давайте выйдем отсюда. Направимся к той бабе, к Джойс. Поговорим без куцараги. Гомосексуальное подполье. Современная расовая теория. -1 драма, блять. Блять. А у меня там загадка есть. Вот, в чем заключается загадка раз. Да, нужно еще уровень поднять для этого. Далее.
You're back. Good. What more lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything. Are you sure you're sure? Your colleagues see okay. The Pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the Pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In Windy, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulin, an oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear. Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or any.
The negation of being.
That's right. The negation of being. Oh, it is so difficult for us.
A squall of birds. Hardware operating in the harbor. Firm.
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost or having our minds damaged. Extensively. Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even.
Who says and who argues?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue. It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
It's more for her. Way more.
No, Lieutenant Dubois. I'm entreprenetic business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually.
Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well. The strange grey-haired woman in her lorry.
Yes, carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
You should ask the pal driver about this. See what she says.
Up to my gills, officer. Entreponetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of Grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
They had not traveled the entire
Короче,
circumference of the
весь этот мир,
Pericarnassian super E-Solar.
весь этот мир,
It was not merely in the West,
он
it was
не
everywhere,
настоящий. Не, ну я имею в виду
even then,
в том плане,
surrounding them.
что это понятное дело, что там игра, бла-бла-бла, я не про это, я имею в виду вот действие игры, вот внутри, да, оно, это все фейк, короче, это типа, ну, сон собаки, этого не существует, короче, вот. Ну вот, из этого всего ясно, понятно становится.
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years.
Нифига себе, тысячи, ничего себе.
Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure. Hybrid airships, Detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended. Once you've crossed from near Pale to far Pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely. Then they don't.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale than there is matter. And what do you think, Detective? Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the Pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that. I suggest you do the same. It doesn't look like you're doing the same. The suggestion was meant in earnest, Detective. Live life. It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension. Right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working.
There's a slippery article in there.
Pale when it's particular, this territory of Pale. The Pale when it's Pale in its entirety. Once you've seen it, language balks at the difference. No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla. An uproar of matter, darling, rising into the Pale, rolling, evaporating even, a great vision. The area of transition between the world and the Pale is called Porch Collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist, cold vapour marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism, a mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
You hear your pulse rise. The air feels caustic and cold suddenly.
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, Detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything? Then tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
Лол, блять. Просто, блять, лол.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then... I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time. Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I...
Все, теперь идем спать к хуям. А телефон поломала тут баба, короче. Вот это.
The bed is still cold.
Которая является наемницей,
It's not
которая
easy,
блондинка курит.
but your bones are so tired from what feel like.
Thoughts, baby.
Recorded in you forever.
On it.
Behold,
It's the. You can never forget this shit.
it's not
You're the.
reading your awful letters and recalling things, aren't you?
It's too late. You're not made of nothing anymore. You're something now.
For the money, baby. For the greater good. For Revacon. Always and only Revacon.
Solving your little crossword puzzle.
Давайте вот это выберем. Снова.
He's got no idea what he's in for.
So beep beep.
Do it for the... Hey, Moneymouth. Eendrak. Yes, Swindle Father. That's right. It's time to stop muttering about your Did Elone 50... Listen, you need to become a millionaire. 1 coin. And then what? Join the... Those guys, the ancient Samaran tribe. Of course, but Savvies. Are you in?
Паузы будете просто ставить, и кто будет смотреть, например, да, и прочитаете все это на паузе. Просто я это все читал, я скипаю. Вот.
The spirit of ultra-liberalism. Your charm. Atabo. Let's start by getting you into the lucrative art market. 2. Diversify your assets and increase your R. You're right. Go.
Все, поехали. А где Ким?
The door is...
А, Ким внизу уже, да. Он тебя встречает внизу всегда. Да, вот он, Ким.
Yes? What is it?
God damn it, you leave her alone. Keep your weird bullshit to yourself and be professional for once, for fuck's sake.
Can I actually help you with something?
Yes, of course. Preposterous. I mean, you would remember if they were, right? Who forgets their squad mates? That's not possible.
Of course I'm with him. Why do you ask?
You're an asshole. You know what? Maybe we're both assholes.
Please, let's not turn this into another exchange, okay? It means I'm a patrol officer, sir.
What was with that, sir?
Well, I guess I.
Cut the shit. Every second you stand here running your mouth, the case grows colder. Again?
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
О, панки стоят, смотрите. Так, полис.
That's one brutal
Ссаный
motor
пидор.
carriage.
If I were a real skull now, I'd jack it, paint it in palm tree livery, then bottom light it, neon style.
Нахуй мир, блять.
A snazzy shit-ripped skullmobile like this would make a fine trophy. We could, like, hang fucking shrunken heads from the side mirrors. Cops' heads. Scary tribal shit.
Yeah, tribal shit. A cop carriage like this would have proper skull value.
While I appreciate the interest you take in my brutal motor carriage, I have to stop you right there. The RCM takes threats directed at its property seriously.
It's just theoretical work, Copper. No basis in reality. Man, if we were certified skulls right now...
I can tell you who we're not, cop. We're not snitches, flow bears, or
Ни
skulls.
пидоры, ни черепа.
Which is not to say that the skulls are bitches and. On the contrary.
The part of this presentation you want to take home with you, cop man, is we're not part of the skulls yet.
Okay then, let's indulge in some intellectual exchange. These young men seem eager to share their beliefs.
You don't know? What kind of cop are you?
It's not a question. Don't get into it.
The Skulls are the most vicious gang of the Besmertne.
Besmatine, or the Besmati, the Immortals, are West Rivisholian crime syndicates.
The nastiest bunch of psychos ever. Jacking carriages and getting into high speed.
Possessing an infinite amount of fuck-all swagger, infamous for their non-verbal modus operandi.
If a skull spots you, he will pull out his dagger and stab you without saying a word.
The lieutenant's voice is as calm as usual, a testament to the violence and death he's witnessed through the sight of his firearm.
They usually occupy the burnt-out quarter in Jamrock, or you can find them loitering around a brightly painted bottom-lighted vehicle.
I can't wait to become a skull. Bottom lights are wretched aggressive. Murder? Yeah, sure. We'll gladly tell you everything we know about it.
Also, he was hanged. He was hanged from a tree.
Yeah, I mean, duh.
These punks don't know anything.
Hey, stop right there. How does one know anything?
Ah, this sounds like epistemology, a field so occupied by thought that it begins to question thought itself. However, there is no way these young men could possibly be aware of her work.
Exactly. How can one know shit? For example, how can one be sure that they're true?
What if it's art? Or just a mere specter? So what do you think we know? What about them?
Они пидор,
Well, first off, it's a statement and not necessarily something that characterizes me as a person, even though the statement has character. And I do like piss. The word piss epitomizes the struggle taking place in the world. Things being defined as they seem, not as they are. And, I guess, it's also about communal spirit, the future, and truly appreciating our differences. Also, you've got to admit, it catches the eye. And since the Grand Piper is slowly but steadily moving towards basing the economy on it, attention, it is imperative that the medium itself convey the message. What I mean by this is, we are all pissed, and that the world is inherent.
It seems that the young man has a certain expertise in at least one field.
Like I said before, many men keep searching for the one, for so-called true love, which is actually just obsession masquerading as kinship. The thrill of the chase, the hollowness that fills your chest cavity after catching it.
I'm wondering if the poetics come with the jacket, or are they derived from something else entirely?
To catch a fish, you'll need to hurl the lure many times, and even then it isn't certain that you'll get anything. If you blow up the lake, though, you get more fish in a shorter time. And, for time is of the essence and fleeting ever so quickly, one must think of a way to fuck the whole world and not get caught up. Because when one fucks everything, he fucks nothing. And that, to me, feels glorious.
Hate to admit it, but in a weird way, is it a coincidence that here we have 2 badass jackets and 2 badass cops? Your lack of imagination is baffling, but you do make up for it with, yes, questions.
Oh yeah, Cindy's a right proper skull.
Yeah, a true artist of the future. Just like Arno van Eyck.
By the way, if you see Cindy, give her our regards.
For all their nihilistic posturing, these young men are not lacking in youthful idealism. The lieutenant on your left is unusually lenient toward them.
Oh man, yeah. We're not fucking kids, man.
Be wary of the abyss.
Probably because of how non-verbal their mode of operation is going to be. It's a threat. But I don't. In fact, I dislike them so much I'm willing to drag you boys back to the station just to calm myself down.
Hey, there's no need for that. We're just talking here. Joking too.
Yeah. Didn't you cops, like, have some questions about skulls or some shit?
The Union does their share of policing in Martinez, at least where gangs are concerned. That's why there isn't much organized crime around here.
Don't you worry about that. We're gonna make up for the deficit.
Yeah, we are. We're not franchise skulls. Well, not yet. Once we get our name out there, we'll have a chance to join them. Because we can be just as psycho and vicious. You'll see.
But in a non-threatening and definitely legal way.
We'll fuck the system from the inside later. Just be cool now. The damage will be tenfold.
Right on, fuck. So what's happening now? Mm-hmm.
No. Don't ask anything. Be subtle and scary. The boys dream about being skulls. Use that. Suggest they're massive skulls. Come on.
What? No. Skulls don't have kings. I think. And we're not even in yet.
Yeah, man, keep your voice down. Skulls don't take it lightly when folks pretend to be them. We're not even prospects yet.
Prospect must be a hierarchical term, probably in the lower end.
Wow, you boys are ambitious. Only prospects and already planning a coup in the skulls. You're destined to go far.
He gets it. Passive aggressive.
Shut the fuck up! Are you trying to get us killed?
Now bring it to the jackets and, yes, start shouting.
Please be quiet. What? What do you want? The jackets?
Я не знаю, носить, блядь, эти куртки Fuck the World, блядь, и что-то там Sunny Пидор, это, блядь, ну Fuck the World еще ладно, это нормальная тема, а вот Sunny Пидор это пиздец. Нахер мне твои куртки нужны? Обоссанные, блядь. Король черепов.
Fuck you, man. Take them then.
Да, куртки.
Oh, man. Okay. I get it. Skulls don't really wear slogans anyway.
Fuck.
Huh.
The lieutenant watches the boys take their jackets off with mild amusement.
Ты говоришь, что ссаный пидор тебе больше по душе, я возьму другую. Принц Ким, я помню, ты говорил, что ссаный пидор тебе больше по душе, но я думаю, что хочу оставить ее себе. Да, давайте первая, блядь.
I'm absolutely okay with letting either one.
Тебе нужна, спасибо. Почему нет? Они же парные, мы могли бы их здорово отжечь или глубоко уйти в подполье, но разве ты не хочешь почнуть свою индивидуальность?
I already am.
Я уже подчеркиваю свою индивидуальность.
I'm not.
Да нет, у меня больше нет.
I don't have
Good. I wanted you not to express
Хотел,
yours.
чтобы ты ее не подчеркивал.
cold-hearted cop.
The need will not arise.
The jackets are meant to complete each other. If a man was standing alone on a street corner with his written on his back, it'd just be an individual that has taken a liking to you, right? And fuck the world.
I don't know, Eric. It's cold out.
Yeah, let's get out of here. The cops fucked us.
Копы нас наебали.
Wow, so someone's been a little boring. Yes, my standard liege. Someone's seen all sorts of wild ideas pop off and thought, I'll take the boring one. The regular, please. The brown. No need to be defensive. The regularity, the brownness, the cut and dry have their appeal. Of course you do. Let's get right to it. My lord's coppo type is regular cop. I'll let everyone know. I'll send out a telefax. Yes, the type of cop you are, sire. Think of it as a caste, a class even, a nation of regular law officials that you belong to. It comes, of course, with the done and done. No actual communiques will be sent, of course. That would be Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and...
This is Precinct 57. Sorry, sir. I still haven't heard back from the database people. Try calling again later. Is there anything else I can do for you? Just a second. Sylvie Malaika. Yes. Hello? Oh, great.
You hear...
Anything else I can help you with, officer? Still no word, I'm afraid, sir. I know it must be frustrating. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over. Roger that. 10-10, over and out.
Ну ладно, нечем тут. Пойдем к девке.
The boomboxes wait on the shelves, and your boombox, that gold and amber Harman Waushi, stares at...
And here you are, quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything, wherever, turn any tape into a conversation.
A typical Martinez street.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Of course. It's in working order still, isn't it? Just pick your tape and set it spinning. It all starts... Sure thing. Sure, man. Sure. Let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, but...
Давайте теперь здесь пропрашивать. Пиздюки какие-то.
Hi, officer. Anything I can help you with? A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called Elysium. The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been since they built this place.
You've graduated to low...
Men with authority have their quirks. Comes with never being second-guessed about anything. So what brings you here, Lawbringer? The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions. And that was actually the second...
Indeed, You're always confused. Ask her about the cool sword. Helps to break the ice.
Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks mostly. Not really. I know some basic moves, and I know it sure as hell beats a knife when you're in a tough spot. Guns are expensive and fragile, I think. Besides, I got kids, can't have guns around them, and sometimes a sharp blade is enough to keep folks at. From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time. What makes you think we haven't? The truth is that almost everyone in this life is scared and tired and stupid and too dull for that. That goes for men too, but they put on an act for us. Pretend like everything's good and living in shit doesn't bother them. Like anyone falls for that. Oh? Believe me, everyone here is a proper man. Must be something about poverty that makes all the men...
Sounds like she prefers her men to be less real.
No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I used to keep these animals in check would put me in an early grave. Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up marrying. Guess I enjoyed the way he bled.
If it is, then why the melancholy?
Gone. To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago. Who knows? Maybe he fell over. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. The bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles. Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
This is neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now I'm tarring a little skiff. Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea has given up. The sea is full of surprises.
Keep it professional, man. Don't make it sound like you're hitting on her. This is what is called a conversation. You don't have to be guarded right now.
Oh, very. Finding pieces of glass, bits of wood. Every once in a while we get dead bodies. Human, animal, fish, other sea creatures. What else? Bottles, drugs also, lost cargo in general. Most of the time it's just...
All right. Major choice moment. You only get to ask one thing. It would be weird to say them all. Choose wisely.
Well, you're barking under the wrong tree then, officer. I have no interest in floaters. Seen enough of...
Yeah, maybe stay clear of the things reminded her of the floater she used to be married to. Just saying.
Sure is. The sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry, assuming the sunny days continue. Let's see. Who are you looking for? I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate? Aha! Like snowmen. Two odd guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like. Right. Not only snowmen, also green men, monkey men burning rhinos. You get the picture.
Oh, you're getting it. And it is gorgeous.
I don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen? Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth. This one doesn't say anything, kicking the concrete with his...
Lily's our mum.
The stone kicker laughs suddenly. His head is... The other one laughs. Wow, so intellectually stimulating. The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be...
He looks just like me.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. Both of their hair is covered in... The rock kicker was just being shy, but now he's enthusiastic again.
You're bad with kids. You're right there. Let's see if we can find some police work, shall we? We're not getting anything here.
You're stupid. Okay. You're stupid.
Нет, блядь. Это чё за бабка? О, Господи.
You're not sure about the melody, but it might be South Samaran, possibly Sigayan, also known as the apricot sujunti.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
Then how does she know you're here?
I still have a golden ear. Come, come. Tut tut. Don't be shy now. It's going to be all right. Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Wish you did. But still, in Martinez, you're... No, not you personally. I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another. He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place, somewhere more quiet.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat.
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings.
That's you, all right. A black hound licking your own heels.
Maybe they are afraid. Because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here. As long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage. And not a lot of houses. Or a lot of people. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us? Stay? Most people here are trying to... That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack. I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM. No one is using it, and God knows it's not much anyway. You can stay there. That's exactly how they get ya. That's why we built our own cinder block houses on the seaside. So we don't have to give money to those crooks. We might not look like much, but they are ours. My kids grew up and left like they do. The house is long empty now. I live in the small side attachment. It's easier and cheaper to keep warm.
Ну, блядь. Танцы и тряпье. Там тоже такой себе номер, я вам хочу сказать, поэтому давайте лучше бесплатно жить, потому что там окно разбито, все разъебано, ну, условия тоже не айс. Давай.
Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I'll know where to find you. Here, in a shack.
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist. This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the...
The place is so pornographically poor, it's not even funny.
Well, there's Lillian and her kids. If you knew folks live in the house to the east, and then there's the drugs. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them. Lillian is tough. Tougher than the men here at least. If it wasn't for her and the kids, this place wouldn't have a spark of... Sooner or later, you'll see for yourself. Don't have to look long to find these guys. Here, for you, no officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women, and then for...
Under carts, boats, in little boxes. It's not hard to find.
Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. An old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be, during the time of the suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans and folks. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinder block houses. Shacks as far as the eye can see. The goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by now. The lack of wealth is the one thing we've got in...
It's a cold, cynical smile.
Riddles fits with the general ambiance here.
Aye. Sometimes it's as though I'm also gotten lost inside this nameless nothing. Oh, it seems to be a common theme these days. Isn't that what people always think when they are lost? Something I can do for you to find your way, officer?
She nods, rinsing another piece of cloth.
Not much. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even. Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then.
So, they don't hold services there anymore?
No, we've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty. I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something. Before the war. I wasn't here then, you know. Of note, the old fish market up on the boardwalk. But it's closed. No one. That's why it's closed. It was once a bustling place, back when I was young. Now, what catch we do bring in goes straight into a lorry for the Delta or somewhere else. What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? If you want a development opportunity, you can used to be a supply depot. We think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jam shut though. We tried to get it.
Nothing is impossible.
And now you know everything there is to know about this coast. Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. Now it's your turn, Mr. Quite a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them double.
О, куртку можно отстирать, прикиньте, ребят. Прикиньте, я думал, она бесполезна, но можно отстирать куртку. Нашел вот эту куртку, но грязно, не могли бы вы выстирать ее?
I can wash it for you.
Могла бы выстирать.
But it's going to take about a half an hour.
Это полчаса,
Think
подождешь
you can
столько?
stay put for that long?
Конечно.
I could use a breather before another rainy day
Я бы не
begins.
отказался от передышки, пока не начался очередной день беготни. Да, я подожду.
Well, hand it
Давай
over
сюда.
then, and I'll see what I
Посмотрим,
can
что тут
do.
можно сделать.
Must say, I'm proud of this one. It's pretty nice underneath all that filth. I hope you'll have an easier life in your hands.
Хорошая бабка, кстати, прикольная. Ну-ка, что там за куртка такая? О. Ничего себе, ну-ка, штормовая. Шармовка, фаун от фаун. Болевой порог, сумрак. А у меня что? Полицейская волна. Пот льет ручьем. Это да. Кстати, у меня тоже есть типа ветровка. Вот ее одеваешь, это просто пиздец какой-то. Короче. Потеешь как мразь просто. Стопроцентная синтетика, лол. Гордо красуется надпись, пиздец. Так они пропустят внутрь ни одной молекулы воздуха. Внимание, от огня на самом деле не защищает. Конечно. Да, и воздух действительно не пропускает. Это ужас какой-то, блядь. Трепет, полицейская волна. Кто-то тут сидит.
Hello, mister.
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
Oh, I had gloves. Very big ones. Heavy, too.
Where did you get these gloves?
Found them when Lemmy and I were playing hide and seek. In an empty house. Where no one lives. I think someone hid them there.
She doesn't want you to think she stole them.
I hid them. The twins were gonna take them. They're stupid.
We are going to need those gloves. It's for important police business.
Oh. They're in my sandcastle. Behind our house. Under the sand. You can break the castle. It's not very good. Yes, I am. Little Lily. You know my mom? That's nice. My mom is great. She's never angry or anything. Yes. They don't want to play with me. They're older. They look the same. Sometimes I can't tell them apart. They look identical. It's Lammy. He's my friend. Sort of.
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is tattered in several parts.
Yes. Lammy has lived a long life. Lammy was a No, that's not it.
I think she means revolutionary.
Yes, Lammy was a resolutionary. It's a grouse.
You might be able to get on Gart's good side if you replace the broken scooter you almost certainly broke.
I don't know. Sure. I mean, you already took it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry. Bye!
Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back to you from what must have been a vast underground catacomb network.
The little castle? The reigning lord must have come upon some really tough times to let it sleep in such decrepitude.
The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed, collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets.
Congratulations. That's the gauntlets down then. we're doing good on the arm.
Давайте посмотрим, что там за перчатки. Шиндуют 2 техника, ничего себе. Сумрак, давайте. Ух ты, прикольно.
As you fold your fingers into a fist, you realize you could knock anyone out with one punch. The white ceramic gloves wrap around your digits comfortably. Your movements cause tiny little clicks, like dice rolling somewhere far away, as the plates reorient to your motions. The hardened vitreous enamel, at once sleek and light, adds a glow to your cheeks and a spring to your step. Just imagine what a full... You really do feel more confident. Invulnerability does that. Even partial invulnerability. Remember, this is a highly specialized kinetic redistributor meant to stop bullets. Wear it, observe its properties, see if there's a weakness in the design. For the day you have to fight someone covered in the same material.
Yes?